Right now, this morning, flipping votes. Why some Democrats are now saying they'll vote for the Republican-backed funding bill. And will it be enough to avert a government shutdown? Plus, Trump threatens a whopping 200% tariff on alcohol coming from the EU.
Plus, we have an alert day coming in later on tonight, but we do have warmer temperatures on the way today. We'll hold on to this coming in about 8 o'clock to 11 o'clock for damaging winds that can get up to 70 miles per hour. And the greatest threat south of I-90. More about that in just a moment.
This is News 8 Now, this morning.
Good morning, I'm Alexandra Carter.
And I'm Art Jarrett.
It is Friday, March 14th. A little bit of active weather going on this morning.
Yeah, a little bit right now, but it's not affecting us for the alert day right now. So we have some thunderstorm activity in the forecast that Alexandra had to drive through this early morning. And as we get into it, you may have to do the same thing. Some of that is tracking out to the northeast right now. We will have later on, though, the severe weather in the forecast where you're getting into it 11 o'clock, 8 o'clock and 11 o'clock tonight. You're getting into that, as we can see, a slight risk of severe weather to a marginal risk of severe weather. We also have fire danger in the forecast as well because of the dry fuels. Now, a lot of people are not getting wet right now in the region, and so we're going to be seeing this where you have dry fuels in the forecast. We're in the yellow for a high risk for that. So lightning could come through and start a fire. That's how that goes. We'll get into it with the fire danger, as I mentioned before, very dry conditions. We'll also see severe storms coming in later on tonight. And of course, we'll be seeing some heavy rainfall associated with that as well. The winds themselves will continue to pick up as we go through the morning hours. You're seeing in the 9 o'clock hour after the commute, you're seeing winds getting up to 30 miles per hour plus in some cases. Going into the afternoon, these winds will continue to bump up to 40 miles per hour, taking a break. Then as we get into the nighttime, you're looking at winds up to 40, 50 miles per hour in some cases, working through the area and then taking a break going into the 5 o'clock showcase time slot there. All right, as we get into it here, we'll go right into the travel impacts. This will affect you as you get into the evening. As you can see, for severe weather, isolated thunderstorms. You've got windy conditions pretty much throughout the day, breezy and gusty winds as well. Temperatures in the 70s and the 80s for the forecast this afternoon, and then tapering off into the 50s and the 40s later on. Be safe out there. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you, Art. 3 teenagers are in custody for Sunday's shooting on La Crosse's north side. Police arrested 19-year-old Jason Moran yesterday. SWAT officers executed a search warrant. Also taken into custody a 13-year-old suspect. It happened on the 1200 block of Logan Street and the 1500 block of Liberty Street. A 16-year-old suspect was arrested Wednesday. The shooting happened last Sunday on Logan Street. One person was hurt but is okay. Today, President Trump will make a speech at the Department of Justice laying out his public safety vision. It comes as President Trump is fighting back after 2 separate judges ordered the rehiring of thousands of fired federal workers. The president also not backing away from threats to escalate the trade war further, despite another swing in the stock market yesterday. CBS's Jared Hill reports.
Fired federal workers ordered back on the job. Thursday, 2 federal judges ruled the Trump administration has to immediately offer positions back to thousands of laid-off employees across multiple agencies, arguing how they were let go is against the law. The White House, appealing to at least one ruling, wrote, "Singular district court judges cannot abuse the power of the entire judiciary to thwart the president's agenda." President Trump is also not backing away from escalating his trade war. The president now threatening a 200% import tax on all European wine and liquor in response to Europe's plan to tariff American whiskey starting next month. All of this after the U.S. slapped a 25% tariff on all imported steel and aluminum earlier this week.
We've been ripped off for years, and we're not going to be ripped off anymore. No, I'm not going to bend at all.
The trade tit for tat sank U.S. stocks again Thursday.
There'll be a little disruption, but it won't be very long.
The economic uncertainty comes as the Senate races to avoid a government shutdown at midnight. The Senate's Democratic leader, Chuck Schumer, says he'll back a Republican spending bill to keep agencies funded.
While the CR bill is very bad, the potential for a shutdown has consequences for America that are much, much worse.
The bill must get support from some Senate Democrats in order to pass.
Despite the latest legal challenges over federal worker firings, the head of the U.S. Postal Service says it is moving forward with a plan to eliminate about 10,000 jobs through voluntary early retirement programs. Attorneys general from Wisconsin, Minnesota, and 18 other states are suing the Trump administration over education cuts. The lawsuit claims the administration is illegally trying to dismantle the Department of Education. Tuesday, nearly half the department's staff, about 1,300 employees, were told they would lose their jobs in 90 days. President Trump has repeatedly called for eliminating the department entirely. The Trump administration will appeal a ruling that it must reinstate thousands of federal employees. A federal judge ordered the administration to immediately give workers back their jobs. The probationary employees were fired last month as part of efforts to shrink the federal workforce. The order covers 6 federal agencies, but the judge said he might extend it. Aptiv will host a legislative listening session today where you'll hear directly from people with disabilities about those proposed Trump administration Medicaid cuts. You'll also hear from some lawmakers. The $880 billion in cuts would impact millions of Americans depending on those services. If you're concerned, you can join state legislators Path and Johnson from 1 to 3 today. It's happening at Aptiv on South Avenue in La Crosse. Goodview firefighters, meanwhile, honoring their former chief, Jason Gruitt, with a final procession yesterday. The department led that from Rochester to Goodview. Community members lining the streets to pay their respects as they passed by. Goodview Fire and Rescue sharing on social media their thoughts and prayers are with Chief Gruitt's family. Before you plan any outdoor burning this weekend, officials urge you to check the fire danger first. The DNR says 170 wildfires have already burned over 450 acres this year. That is 4 times more than average. Dry weather and gusty winds expected to continue today and could make those conditions even worse. Burn permit suspensions now in effect across several southern and central Wisconsin counties. 12 people were taken to the hospital after an American Airlines plane had to make an emergency landing in Denver, then caught on fire on the tarmac. The airline says the Boeing 737-800 was bound for Dallas and had an engine-related issue after taking off last night. All 178 passengers and crew were able to evacuate safely. The FAA is now investigating. Tim Walz will once again hit the campaign trail across the Midwest. The Minnesota governor and former vice presidential candidate will kick off a tour Friday in Iowa, targeting districts represented by Republicans. The tour comes after Walz responded to House Republican leaders who advised their colleagues to stop holding town halls. La Crosse's old Fire Station 2 will no longer be sold as surplus property after last night's Common Council vote. The council also approved a liquor license for the Rookery, a new restaurant replacing the Eagle's Nest. Other approved items included a state road reconstruction project and additional funding for the Airport Minimum Guarantee Fund. Wisconsin's native tribes are fighting for a stronger voice in how schools teach all students. A Senate committee voted yesterday on 4 bills giving tribes more input on education standards. The proposals would protect Native students' right to wear traditional regalia and improve reporting on American Indian student outcomes. The Ho-Chunk Nation says these changes would benefit all Wisconsin students.
Always been about benefiting everyone. We know our stuff pretty good. We learn our language, we teach our language, we know our kinship, our clans, our stories, but it's hard to express that when the environment around you isn't open and receptive to that, and you have to justify why it's important that you wear your regalia or have long hair or speak a different language.
All 4 bills passed through the committee with a 4-to-1 vote. The time now is 6:09. Still ahead, gas prices are down amid recession fears. Doge's next wave of reductions target the USPS. And the Ford F-150 could have a huge price hike due to Trump's tariffs. And the president threatening a massive 200% tariff on alcohol from Europe. We'll tell you why amid the escalating trade war. For now, we'll send you to break with something to put the good in your morning. A total lunar eclipse turned the moon blood red early this morning. Lunar eclipses happen when the moon, Earth, and sun align perfectly, with Earth casting its shadow across the moon. The red glow happens when sunlight filters through the Earth's atmosphere before reaching the moon's surface. And as you start to wake up, we'll leave you with a quick wake-up call. The city where it is illegal to snore with your windows open. That is Boston, Massachusetts. Hopefully nobody's doing that right now. Stay with us. Your morning consumer news is after the break.
for gold at the end of the rainbow? Well, you can find it here at the King Furniture St. Patrick's Day sale. Get Shamrock with savings up to 60% off, plus 0% free financing, recliners, sofas, sectionals, and more. It's all here and it's all in stock and ready to be delivered. Plus, shop special savings in our incredible Lazy Boy Showcase. Let the shenanigans begin at the King Furniture St. Patrick's Day sale. Don't miss it.
Right now, you're busy taking care of the people you love. Let Window World take care of the place you live. Window World, America's exterior remodeler. Improving homes, changing lives.
It was just a one-time thing. That's what Brad Schimmel said when he gave a, quote, sweet bargain to a man who sexually assaulted a 10-year-old girl. The sex predator served just 18 months in prison for his crime and got out. A few weeks ago, he was convicted of sexually assaulting a child again. And that was just one time Brad Schimmel let a sex predator loose on our kids. So why would we ever give him another chance? Brad Schimmel, too extreme for the Supreme Court.
Around here, neighbors come together to make each other better. We're taking the same approach with healthcare. Gunderson Health System and Bellin Health have come together to form Amplify Health, giving you more of what's important in healthcare. More caring, more listening, more to feel good about on your way to feeling better. Overall, just a little more heart. Amplify Health by Gunderson. A little empathy changes everything.
Style or substance. Somehow, it became one or the other. But there is another choice. Not stopping until you have everything in the GMC Sierra. Or get 0% APR on select Sierra 1500 models. That's over $5,600 in average finance savings. We are professional grade.
The chips that you like are not on sale this week, so we're gonna have to skip those. Sorry, bud.
Aww. Hi, we're at Woodman's. I'm Clint. I'm Phil. At Woodman's, you don't need a flyer to find hot deals. With our everyday low prices and huge selection, you can find anything you're looking for. And still save big time on your whole grocery bill.
So I can get the groceries I want and save money? Looks like your chips are back on the list.
Yes. Thanks, guys.
It's Woodman's.
All right, getting into your forecast, look at that. Yeah, light rainfall over the last 3 hours, been kind of moving through the area here. I should say light to moderate, because you can see the yellow associated with that as well. Thunderstorm activity also a part of that as well, lighting up the skies and pushing some wet on the roadways. This is not part of your weather alert day, so as we get into it, taking a look here at Black River Falls, you can see some of the spray underneath the light there. You can see it right there with all the moisture that's on the roadways right now, where they picked up a little bit of light rainfall. That being said, you can take a look over Menominee. It's dry conditions right now. Holding on, everybody's pretty good. 43 degrees, feels like it's 39 out there right now. Kiddos going to school today, starting off in La Crosse. You're looking at some cloudy skies, a little bit of a light breeze out there right now. Mild start today, 52 degrees, picking up 76 later on today. Quite gusty out there as well, and drier conditions. We have that fire danger that's out there as well. We get into Eau Claire, you're looking at 48 degrees with breezy conditions out there right about now. Holding on to some cloudy skies, and then eventually you'll get in, I should say mostly cloudy skies, and getting into at least some warmer conditions today, about 74 degrees. By today, you're looking at sunshine and a few clouds here and there, getting cloudier as we get into the evening commute, with a 30% chance of showers to start to boot there as you get into Eau Claire. La Crosse holding on to the same, with a 20% chance over in Eau Claire later on tonight at 8 o'clock once that alert day kicks in. We get the record-breaking temperature for La Crosse, not so much for Eau Claire, though. You hold on to widespread 70s in the forecast. 77 for La Crosse, 74 for Eau Claire. 80 as you get into Albany, as well as 80 for Prairie du Chien, 81 in Boscobel. Some pretty nice temperatures out there, right? The alert day continues on for damaging winds, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. That goes all the way for the greatest threat to at least I-90 for your forecast. When I come back, I'll have an overview of how this all shapes up for you, so please stick around.
In your consumer news, President Trump is threatening a massive 200% tariff on alcohol from the European Union. The move counters the EU's retaliation against Trump's steel and aluminum tariffs. Trump says he'll enforce the tariff unless the EU drops its 50% tax on U.S. spirits. Sherelle Hubbard has more on the escalating trade battle.
I'm not going to bend at all.
President Donald Trump resolute. He says he's not bending on steel and aluminum tariffs, but car repair shops say you may have to.
The main concern is seeing what the domino effect is going to be on the overall cost of price of parts.
America's spirit industry also bracing for pain from the retaliatory tariffs. Trump said he could impose a 200% tariff on alcoholic beverages from the European Union after the EU imposed a 50% tariff on U.S. spirits like bourbon. In Canada, several retailers have taken U.S.-made beer, wine, and spirits off their shelves.
This is a dumb trade war. It is utterly absurd, and we don't really understand why you would pick a fight with your best friend who has only ever been a really good partner to you.
U.S. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick met with Ontario Premier Doug Ford and other Canadian officials Thursday evening. Just last week, Ford said his province was implementing a 25% tariff on electricity exports to 3 U.S. states and threatened to cut off Ontario energy exports to the U.S. After today's meeting, he said the temperature is being lowered and they agreed to more meetings.
We want the best outcome for both countries. We're like a family. And sometimes there's tension between families.
Gas prices are dropping nationwide as those recession concerns grow. According to AAA, the national average for regular gas now stands at $3.08. Prices at the pump have been falling steadily since July, with oil prices down 11% since January. While cheaper gas brings relief to drivers, economists warn it signals potential economic trouble. If a recession does hit, experts predict gas prices would fall even more. DOGE is now taking on the U.S. Postal Service as its next efficiency target. The Postmaster General signed an agreement with DOGE to streamline operations. DOGE teams will review the agency's legislative mandates and regulatory requirements. The Postal Service already cutting 30,000 positions since 2021. Another 10,000 will be let go through voluntary early retirement over the next month. President Trump's steel and aluminum tariffs could hit America's favorite truck the hardest. The Ford F-150, the nation's top-selling pickup, uses more aluminum than almost any other vehicle. Industry experts say the tariffs could add about $400 to the cost of each new vehicle, a price likely to be passed on right to you, the consumer. That's a look at your consumer news. We'll send it over now to News 8 meteorologist Art Jarrett.
All right, some light to moderate rainfall and thunderstorm activity starting to pick up a little bit now, heading to Wausau. As that does, you can see it also by Wisconsin Rapids. It gets a little bit stronger out of the region as well, as by Beaver Dam continues out, coming near Madison and then working up to, there it is right there over Madison. Warmer conditions expected today. We're talking widespread 70s to at least the lower 80s, picking up severe threats later on as we get into the overnight. Now, the rainfall I just showed you is not a part of that, just to let you know. That's just some stuff that came out a little bit earlier to start. Potential record-breaking temperatures for La Crosse today, 77 degrees in your forecast, beating a record back in 2012 at 75 degrees. Eau Claire may not fare so well because they'll be in some of the slightly cooler air today, believe it or not. You'll see mostly temperatures riding up to about, say, the lower to middle 70s there, while you'll see as you get down to Trempealeau, all the way down to the south, you're looking at least 78 to 81 degrees out there. We'll be at 77, as I mentioned before, under partly cloudy to cloudy skies throughout the day. You'll see the range here coming up for a lot of folks as we go from the La Crosse County area down to the south zone as well. Most of those temperatures huddled in the low to upper 80s, around at least around, say, some upper 70s in the forecast, extending up to the central zone. There's Trempealeau and La Crosse, 78 for Trempealeau, 77 for La Crosse, picking up at least temperatures around, say, Eau Claire, getting to 74 degrees. Up to the north, you'll see 73 as you get into areas right by Ladysmith. Now, getting into it here, damaging winds, 8 o'clock to 11 p.m. That's going to kick in, 60 to 70 mile per hour winds. Right now, we're facing winds about 20 to 30 to 40 miles per hour right now in the form of gusts. But these are the dangerous winds that'll come in with some heavy, dangerous rainfall, thunderstorm activity as well. That will continue on. Most of it will be the big threat down farther to the south. As you can see, picking up again, we are in a slight risk of severe weather. That's in the yellow. That is a risk for at least a spin-up tornado or two, not out of the question. Eau Claire, not so much for that because they're in a marginal risk. That's a lower risk for severe weather. Here's a look at the showers and storm activity that's pushing out right now to the northeast. Still keeping an eye on that one by Wisconsin Rapids. In fact, as we get into it, we take a break going all the way into the noon hour after that shower I was just showing you there continues on. Then we go in the 3 o'clock hour. In the latter portion of the afternoon, you're going to be seeing conditions to be dry. Picking up, though, by the 9:30 hour going into it. So between 8 o'clock going into the 9 o'clock hour, you're looking at least some rainfall coming into the forecast. And then it starts to press right over La Crosse with heavy rainfall in the forecast, continuing on with storm activity as well, continuing on. This is the big threat here. These are the damaging winds as well, moving into the forecast, continuing on all the way to Eau Claire, continuing all the way up to the north, getting up to Ladysmith and Wausau, and of course continuing out of the area. You can see that finishing out, and we take a bit of a break. Coming down to the south, that's the area of low pressure that'll be centered right over us, tracking straight for Eau Claire. You can see they get into that as well. So between the 5 o'clock hour and the 6 o'clock hour going into the 7 o'clock hour, that continues in the early morning hours going into tomorrow, where that kicks out of the region. We'll see maybe about a half an inch of rainfall or less getting into your forecast as we go right back into it. You're holding on to conditions to be at least in the mild tomorrow. We'll see warmer conditions in the morning for tomorrow, then start to cool you off into Saturday afternoon. 80% chance of rain mostly in the morning, and then turning into windy conditions for Sunday. Drier and much nicer as we get into Monday for St. Patrick's Day. Get out and enjoy that as that continues right into Tuesday. Wednesday, more rainfall coming into the forecast. That has about an 80% chance. Back to you.
Thank you, Art. Well, are you still feeling tired even with that morning coffee? You're not alone. Most Americans are not getting their full 8 hours of sleep. On this World Sleep Day, Michael George shows us how to finally get the rest you deserve.
Coming up in the Blitz, who's headed to the sectional final? Some fantastic finishes involving area boys hoops teams. Highlights from a busy night of semifinal action after this.
Get the lowest prices of the year during sales fair at Nelson Agri Center, Friday, March 14th through Saturday, March 22nd. Get huge savings on Milwaukee power tools. Stock up on paint with our buy one, get one specials. We'll have deals on fencing, gates, seeds, and more for your farm. Plus, get an $8 store credit towards already low prices with the junk battery trade-in sale. Thousands of items will be on sale at the lowest prices of the year at Nelson Agri Center, downtown Viroqua.
Get solar and get saving with Olson Solar Energy.
The biggest thing I want to get across to people, whether it's via email or voicemail or text, is we are a local Wisconsin family-owned turnkey solar company.
We have project managers that will walk you through the process, keep you informed along the way, and make sure that the communication is the best that it can be.
All the financial benefits are awesome. And then on top of that, it's green energy. How can you lose?
This is the highlight of my day, but my hip pain made it a struggle. My personalized arch support system got me back in the picture.
Clinically proven to provide significant pain relief in only 4 weeks. Book your free fitting at goodfeet.com.
When my sister was murdered 15 years ago, Brad Schimmel kept his promise to us. He told us he was going to get us justice, and he did. When I see these commercials attacking him, I have a lot to say about that, because Brad would kneel next to my mom and hold her hands. And you're going to tell me that's a person that doesn't care about victims? I'm sorry, that is not true. Brad puts victims first, and that's the type of person that should be in the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
Make winter fun for your family with Mount La Crosse. Season passes are on sale. Buy now through next season and ski the rest of this season for free. For 65 years, Mount La Crosse has been making winter fun. Now's your time to come and see what it's all about. Stop out or visit us online to get your season pass today. Sale ends March 16th.
This is you, one place to the next. One more thing to check off the list. But stopping for 30 minutes? Well, that's just not an option. So that's why there's this, the News 8000 app. All your local news, plus a little bit beyond. So take a break when you want to.
News 8 Now Sports.
Blitz. Well, what a night of boys high school hoops. Gyms packed, atmospheres through the roof, and some area teams just one win away from state now. Let's show you who. We begin in Division II, West Salem and Onalaska, the rematch. Hilltoppers came out firing. Brendan Chenault with the attack to the rack, bucket plus the foul. Anna was up 21 with under 5 minutes in the half, but the Panthers make a mini run before the intermission. Kyle Haley knocking one down from the parking lot. Anna up 9 at the break. But it must have been a good halftime speech by Coach Wagner because his guys were on a mission. Nathan Carr, old-fashioned three-point play. Then it's Carr over to Nathan Dillaber in the corner. Bottom. West Salem up 5 with under a minute and 30 left. But the Toppers fighting back. Cole to Cole connection. Ian to Tyler for the bucket. Anna down 2. Toppers would get it back off an offensive rebound, and it's Ian Cole with the bucket to tie things up, and that would send it to overtime. But in the extra frame, it's Haley. He's losing it. He's gathering it. He's going up. Count it, plus the foul. Game of the season, folks. Take my word for it. Panthers complete the comeback, and they are one win away from Madison. Over to Central High, Luther and Aquinas facing off. First half action, Jackson Kendall getting things started for Luther. The pull-up J would drop to draw first blood for the Knights. Then Calvin Barr would do a spin move of his own before passing it out to Logan Becker. His response does not go unheard. And check this out, Braden Young's 3 is gonna be blocked, but Trey Barr recovers it, gives it back to Young for the layup to knot things up at 7. Then second half, Barr came out on fire, knocking down 2 big threes. Why not? He is fired up, and Aquinas will keep the momentum going as they come out on top 67-49. Down in Division 5, unbeaten Royal up against North Crawford. The Panthers had it going early inside to Landon Lipke, going glass for the easy 2. And it's Carter Uppina, lets one fly from deep, buries it. Royal out in front. The Trojans not going anywhere. Andrew Munson, step back 3. Yeah, he called bank there. Then it's Cullen Jacobus. He will drive, spin, get the fadeaway to fall. Royal up 3 at the break. But in the second half, Uppina would start to take over. Little spin move of his own, off balance, doesn't matter. And later he'll split the defense and feed it to Lipke. Big time throwdown. Trojans keep it close, but the Panthers are moving on. 51-48, the final. And 8th ranked Cochrane Fountain City facing defending state champs Columbus Catholic. Pick this one up in the second half. The Dons, Benjamin Whelan from the wing, swish for 3. Columbus Catholic up 7. Then CFC's Aiden Lisowski is going to kick it out to Cameron Lipinski, the senior, good for 3. Red and black now only down 1. Later, CFC's Tucker Babanek battling down low. He will connect for 2. Pirates up by 2. And they would have too much down the stretch. Lipinski driving the lane, the hoop, and a trip to the line, plus a trip to the sectional final. CFC is moving on. Told you, what a night. Some post-game reaction is on our website, news8000.com. If you want to check that out, it is very good, so I would recommend it as well. That'll do for Blitz. We'll see you tonight.
The Silverado Trail Boss. And a little work. And a little play. And a truck that says no to nothing. And Chevrolet.
It's Chevy Truck Month. Well-qualified buyers can get 2.9% financing for 72 months on this Silverado. Or get $4,350 total value. Plus, current Chevy owners can get $4,000 total cash allowance when you trade in an eligible vehicle.
It's hard to explain what this feels like. Moving piles of earth, towing up to 4,000 pounds, cutting millions of blades of grass. We could keep trying to put it into words, but nothing compares to experiencing it for yourself. You just have to get in the seat.
Visit Tractor Central, take a seat, and see for yourself why nothing runs like a deer. Start now at TractorCentral.com.
Well, that was too close.
If we keep waiting, it'll get one of us.
I know these things can be a real hazard, but groundwater does this to concrete all the time.
Water did this.
Mm-hmm. But it's okay. You can lift it back up.
Well, let's get lifting.
Let's do it.
The effects of water can be surprising, but you can. Put water back in its place with a free inspection from Innovative Basement Authority. For a limited time, get $500 off any repairs when you call or go online today.
To everyone who believes in tradition, come enjoy a few of ours from Wisconsin.
People in Wisconsin love a good fish fry.
Really love. And we love sharing it with guests everywhere.
At Culver's, we still batter our North Atlantic cod by hand to order.
And we cook it to a crispy, golden perfection just for you.
For you.
For you. So it's crispy outside, flaky inside. Let us take care of you.
With some homegrown traditions we were raised on.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
For 49 years, they've brought you the best street machines, motorcycles, street rods, race cars, trucks, antiques, and classics in the Midwest. God's Country Racing Association's annual Custom Auto Show is coming to the South Hall of the La Crosse Center March 14th through 16th. Day passes and weekend passes are available at the door. God's Country Racing Association's 49th annual Custom Auto Show is sponsored in part by Curtis Printing Company, Premier Powder Coating, Big Boar Barbecue, Auto Value, and Holman Custom and Collision.
The News 8 Plus app. Local news on your time. Expect more from News 8 Now. Thanks for watching.
In your morning medical news, if you're using acne treatments from Proactive or La Roche-Posay, you might need to check your medicine cabinet this morning. The FDA says 6 popular products are being recalled after testing found elevated levels of benzene, a chemical linked to cancer. Affected brands include Proactive, La Roche-Posay, and Walgreens store brand. While benzene exposure can increase cancer risk, the FDA says your danger from using these products is very low. Manufacturers are already voluntarily pulling these items from store shelves. And the FDA issuing its new flu vaccine recommendations. The agency says vaccines for the upcoming season should be trivalent. That means protecting against 2 strains of influenza A and 1 of influenza B. The agency's decision comes from a group of some of their own experts, some from the CDC and some from the Defense Department. Some encouraging news about young Americans' mental health this morning. The Economist found that depression rates dropping across multiple surveys. Young adults reporting weekly depression fell from 16.5% to 13.3% last year. Fewer teens also saying that they don't enjoy life, and college depression rates have declined since 2022. How often do you actually get a full 8 hours of sleep? I won't answer that. A new survey shows most Americans are missing out on their shut-eye. On this World Sleep Day, Michael George shows us what we can do to try to fix that.
Like most college students, for Izzy Peterson, sleep is not priority number 1. Do you get enough sleep?
I don't think so.
And firefighter Stephen Camillo says in his line of work, getting 8 hours of sleep a night just isn't realistic.
Typical night, how much sleep are you getting?
I guess we get like 2 to 3 hours.
2 to 3 hours.
Yeah.
A new survey by the National Sleep Foundation finds 6 in 10 Americans aren't getting enough sleep. And sleep expert Joseph Drzewski says it's taking a toll.
Adults with poor sleep health were 2 times more likely not to be productive at home, 2.5 times more likely not to be productive at work.
People who do get 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night report performing better at work and had better physical and mental health. Those who don't are feeling the impact.
I feel like I'm less productive. I get stressed out so much more easily. I get emotional a little bit.
I'm usually cranky. I just want to sleep. I don't want nobody to bother me.
Here's a few things sleep experts say we all should be doing. Get exposure to bright light in the morning. Get daily physical activity. Eat meals at consistent times. At night, avoid heavy meals, nicotine, alcohol, and caffeine. Go to bed at a consistent time in a place that's quiet and comfortable.
Sleep is not something that we simply do when there's nothing else to be done. It's a core, critical part of our day that sets us up for success in everything that we do.
More and more evidence that we can't have a good day without a good night.
That is a very true statement. And it's not just for your health. People who get a good night's sleep every night also reporting that they have more fulfilling social lives. A vacant hospital in Chippewa Falls could soon reopen to serve patients again. The Chippewa Valley Health Cooperative signing a purchase agreement for the former St. Joseph's Hospital. The group now has 90 days to determine if reopening is financially viable. If approved, the facility could welcome patients as early as winter. St. Joseph's Hospital closed its doors last March, leaving a gap in local health care. Local women are building homes and hope at Habitat for Humanity's annual Women Build event. The 3-day construction blitz continues today and tomorrow at sites in Stoddard and La Crosse's north side on Avon Street. No construction experience is required to join dozens of volunteers already working.
I did this one other year with my daughter, and we were getting ready for a mission trip, and so we kind of wanted to have an opportunity to work in the community and also to learn a little bit more about what it is to be involved in Habitat for Humanity.
If you want to volunteer today or tomorrow, you can visit habitatlacrosse.org to learn more. Happening this weekend, downtown La Crosse St. Patrick's Day Parade will step off tomorrow at noon from 2nd and State, heading up to Main Street and 7th. The Osseo Fire Department hosting a St. Patrick's Day Bash tomorrow. Check out live dueling pianos and Tip-N-Back Ridge music. Your ticket cost gets you a free drink and meal. And support young entrepreneurs at Destination Handmade Junior tomorrow. Shop art, jewelry, and food created by business owners ages 5 to 17. Send it over now to meteorologist Art Jarrett. He's got a look at our morning commute.
All right, we had a few showers passing through the area, some thunderstorm activity as well. Breezy and gusty winds through this hour, 14 to 36 miles per hour, by the way. They'll continue to go through the afternoon or the morning hours in the afternoon, as you can see, getting up to at least 35 to 34 miles per hour in some cases, tapering off, and then a break comes back. When we get winds picking up later on tonight, though, you can see up to 30 to 40 miles per hour plus, 43 in Viroqua. Then another break comes through. By the time we get in the 5 o'clock hour, winds fall back. They're still at least in the 20 to 30 mile per hour range plus in some cases. And the couple of 22 mile per hour winds to 27 mile per hour winds passing through the area as we go through the 9 o'clock hour for Saturday. Speaking of that, we also have the forecast for your commute here as you get into it. Severe weather later on tonight with isolated thunderstorm activity, maybe even an isolated portion of that to be a thunderstorm or maybe even a tornado. So please be careful. Rain forecast as you get into it as well. And, AM rain showers, we've already experienced them. Windy conditions, we're doing that right now, and 70s coming in our forecast today. Here's a look at that rainfall kicking in as we get in the 10 o'clock hour, 11 o'clock hour, starts to lift up to the north and then continues to swirl out. Most of the heavier rainfalls out by Chicago or well over into Minnesota, as well as portions of the Dakotas. You'll see as we go into it, another break comes in, and as we go right into the 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock hour, you're going to see this continue to move through the area, and then eventually that rainfall lifts up to the north, and more rainfall kicks through one more time before it finishes out, and that's how it all plays out through our forecast. Finishing out again, we'll hold on today with 70s in our forecast with potential record-breaking temperatures.
Before we head to break, it's time to look at today's Look Who's 8.
Hey, Quinn is turning 8. She loves to play with her animals and stay active in sports and spend time outside.
Happy birthday to you, Quinn. And if you know a special someone turning 8 weeks, 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88, we'd love to feature them.
That's right. Just upload their photo to our website, news8000.com, and look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
Still to come on Foodie Friday, from corned beef to Guinness, the authentic Irish experience waiting for you at Houghton's on St. Patrick's Day.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Love it.
Go from dreaming it to driving it today.
Right now, lease a new 2024 Tacoma TRD Sport for $359 a month. Toyota, let's go places.
I'm Sheriff David Zerner with an urgent message. We can't keep you safe when liberal judges refuse to actually punish violent criminals. And Judge Susan Crawford, she's the worst. She continually lets dangerous criminals off easy. 4 years for a man who raped a 6-year-old child. 2 years for a wife beater who also shot a man. Only 90 days for a man who strangled a woman. With judges like Susan Crawford putting violent criminals back on the streets, we can't keep you safe.
Tell Judge Crawford to stop releasing dangerous criminals.
Wisconsin, one of those places where families spend their winters among frozen lakes and snow-covered hills. With all the fun they're having, it's easy to take for granted how they warm up, by the fire, or simply adjusting their thermostat. But for some of us, it's not that easy. Some of us need to decide whether to heat or to eat. or to further neglect our basic survival needs. We are working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans, all struggling to pay record heating bills. These dangerous temperatures aren't just uncomfortable for us, they can be deadly. If you are struggling to decide if you can put food on the table or heat your home, please reach out for a hand up. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
Make winter fun for your family with Mount Lacrosse. Season passes are on sale. Buy now through next season and ski the rest of this season for free. For 65 years, Mount Lacrosse has been making winter fun. Now's your time to come and see what it's all about. Stop out or visit us online to get your season pass today. Sale ends March 16th.
I'm Judge Susan Crawford. Right now, there's a lot of false ads trying to tell you who I am. So I thought I'd tell you myself. As a former prosecutor and now as a judge, I've made sure rapists, murderers, and child predators were behind bars. I believe in protecting your family and your right to privacy, and that women have the right to make their own decisions about their health care. Because to me, that's just common sense. And that's why I'm running for Supreme Court.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Hey, there he is. Let's do this. Right now, you can get 1.99% APR for 72 months on a tough new Tundra. Toyota, let's go places.
All right, showers in the forecast right now, moving through the area here. You can see it a little bit. There they go, right there. It's been over the last 3 hours now, so they're starting to move out of the region, and as that continues to happen, we'll start to see a break come into the forecast for us, and then we'll carry over into conditions that'll be a little bit more on the warmer side in our forecast. All right, so we have warmer conditions, dangerously cold, I should say, not cold, but very dry out there as we get into it with dry fuels, brush that out there, lightning kind of pushing through the area. We could see that kick up and dust up as we get into severe storms later on tonight, 8 o'clock at night all the way to 11 p.m. later on. We could break a record today as well for our highs. 77 in La Crosse, picking up, beating a record from 75 degrees back in 2012. Eau Claire won't fare so well, but they still have a good chance of trying to get that done. 74 degrees for them, 77 for us. 80 as you get down into Lansing, 79 in Prairie du Chien. That keeps fluctuating a little bit. We're seeing 81 over in Boscobel. We'll get into it here. These are a little bit on the colder side here, I should say lighter side because the color is different right now, but you're holding on to these conditions to be mostly widespread upper 70s to around some lower 70s, around 80 degrees as well in some locations. You get right through it here. You see those numbers holding on to partly cloudy skies to mostly cloudy conditions. And then an alert day comes in later on, as I mentioned tonight, 8 p.m., 11 p.m., damaging winds, possibly up to 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts. We've heard that a lot across the United States with all this wind continue to push with this big storm. Greatest threat south of I-90. We're in a slight risk of severe weather in this system, so we're in the yellow. We're not in that orange or in the red there. So we also have Eau Claire in the green, where that means we're there in a marginal risk for severe weather. That's a look at the storm activity that's exiting out now to the northeast. We take a break all the way to the noon hour. You'll see as we roll right through the afternoon, getting into the 3 o'clock hour, we'll take another break moving in, and then by the time we get into the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock hour, that's when that rain starts to move in closer across the Mississippi, runs right over the Mississippi and right into La Crosse as well. Winona, Black River Falls, you got Red Wing in there as well. Minneapolis is in that. Heavy rainfall continuing on. This is the time we're picking up the big threat here of the thunderstorm activity as well as the damaging winds. Potential for at least maybe even a spin-up tornado could be possible with this. Why I say that is you see this kicking out by the 1 o'clock hour. This is the area of low pressure that's moving in, circulating right around it. That's pushing in more rainfall in the forecast, swirling everything out to the east and the west and the north and the south. You can see how that big ring of rainfall continues continue to move. That's what's happening. That's that low pressure system that continues to drive all the way into the sunrise time for tomorrow. As that kicks out again, that'll bring in maybe about a ½ an inch of rainfall or less in the forecast. It's a fast mover, so as we get into it, we'll see limited amounts of rainfall. We will see the winds kind of pushing in through the daytime. We'll also see it kind of kick in as we go through the afternoon and evening commute, and then it starts to pick up at 10 o'clock. We'll see those winds 40, 50 miles per hour, plus even stronger winds. As we get out of that, we'll also see maybe about you could see about a ½ of an inch or less in some cases, maybe. And of course, the snow is staying well to the west of us along the Mississippi and, of course, out of the area. We'll go back into your forecast, holding on to, again, rainfall coming back for Saturday in the morning. You can see that for La Crosse. Eau Claire is fairly similar as well as we finish out, drying out by the noon hour going into the 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock hour. We'll also see drier conditions as we go right into Sunday, possibly Monday, looking pretty good as well for St. Patrick's Day. Also Tuesday doing the same, both in the 60s, holding on to more rainfall coming back on Wednesday.
Foodie Friday is going green this week as St. Patrick's Day approaches and several festivities take over the city. Houghton's Jackson Street Pub is getting ready to serve up green Guinness, corned beef, and all of your favorite Irish specialties. Here with us is the owner, Keith Carson, to give us a little taste of their St. Patty's Day plans. Good morning, Keith. Nice to see you again.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, we're happy to see you. So tell us a little bit. We know that, Houghton's is a place to be on St. Patty's Day. So what should we know?
Things that you should know is that we're going to serve a traditional Irish meal of corned beef and cabbage.
Okay.
You'll see the food here. We have red potatoes, carrots, and also we'll have Reuben sandwiches and French fries.
Okay.
And it's very delicious, and it's a limited menu. And so the opportunity that people can also get fish and a few other items, but we want to keep it focused on the corned beef and cabbage.
Yeah, it's a special day for corned beef. You make how much, did you say?
We're going to make about 900 pounds for Monday, for St. Patrick's Day.
So what are those other fixins that are authentic that you're serving up on St. Patrick's Day?
So one of the other things that we're going to be doing is, like we said, the corned beef and cabbage and the Reuben. We're also going to have a Guinness stew soup, which will be delicious. And we're working on a very special dessert to have on Monday. So
okay, it'll be unveiled. It's kind of a little
well, we've had it
teaser.
before, and so I think the people that have come in before, they'll know what it is.
The people will know.
And I'll give you a hint. It's a limited supply, but it's going to be our dark chocolate Guinness cake.
Oh, yum. Okay, that sounds great. I can see why that is a crowd hit. And then speaking of Guinness, you're also going to have some drink specials, special drinks going on.
Yep, we're going to be serving Guinness. We're going to have Bud Light green beer. We're going to have Jameson and Tullamore Dew on special. We also have from Hillsborough Brewing, we have an Irish Asvac.
Okay, all right, so you've got a little bit of everything.
Yeah, so I'm new here, so what makes your pub so much more special than all the rest?
I think we'll start with the original owner of Jim Houghton Wiley, and he was started off with instrument, Celtic music, and was just very fascinated by the Irish theme. And so after he had passed and my wife and I bought the restaurant, we saw the value in it and we kept that theme alive. And one of the things that we do at Houghton's is we make a lot of food from scratch. And so we're known for our chicken dumpling soup. We make from scratch. During the winter, we probably average between 80 and 90 gallons a week.
Okay, wow.
So it's and we have staff that's been around for 10, 20, 30 years. They're outstanding, and I think it's just the local family charm that we try to bring to the restaurant.
Okay, very nice. And so then for Monday, for the St. Patty's Day celebration, what times, what things do people need to know?
Need to know that be patient. It's going to be busy.
Right.
Our hours are from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. We'll be serving food. The bar will be open a little bit later for the festivities. And basically what the significance about the restaurant is that people that just want to come enjoy themselves, have a conversation, and the camaraderie of being around like-minded people, because everybody's Irish on St. Patty's Day.
Right, and 900 pounds of corned beef doesn't hurt, right?
No, it does not, no.
So any reservations on that day too, by the way?
We do not take reservation.
No
First come, first serve. And we have, we'll get people out and serve them as quickly as we can and get it out, because we have a good kitchen staff that's geared up, ready to go. So
yeah, they're used to it, right?
It is our Oktoberfest.
Right, you guys are gearing up and ready to go. Okay, any last minute kind of like pro tips? I know last year you wanted people to get there early. That was a tip you had. Anything else this year you recommend?
Just be patient and just enjoy the day.
Right.
You will have some giveaway items to give away to people. just talk to some old friends or new friends. It's just a great day to be out and having cheers.
Okay, sounds great. All right, well, that is Houghton's on Monday, getting ready for their St. Patty's Day celebration. Thank you for being here with us this morning, Keith.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Stay with us. We're back right after this.
Get ready to experience the impossible. The magic of Bill Blagg Live. An unbelievable side-splitting spectacular filled with mind-blowing magic and jaw-dropping illusions. Sensational, captivating, incredible family fun. Tickets are on sale now. Don't miss the magic of Bill Blagg Live. He's changing reality one city at a time. And yours is next.
Order at 608-796-3100 or ViterboFineArtsCenter.com.
Dental implants are often the best solution to severe dental issues. If you have infection in your mouth, it does cause trouble other places. A lot of people ignore infection for way too long. And when they finally do something about it, they say not only do they like what they did here, but they feel better overall. In the end, you can have a smile you're proud of and a very healthy mouth.
We're an implant-focused practice. If you think you have a full mouth of challenges, come see us. Come down for a free consultation.
When my sister was murdered 15 years ago, Brad Schimmel kept his promise to us. He told us he was going to get us justice, and he did. When I see these commercials attacking him, I have a lot to say about that, because Brad would kneel next to my mom and hold her hands. And you're going to tell me that's a person that doesn't care about victims? I'm sorry, that is not true. Brad puts victims first, and that's the type of person that should be in the Wisconsin Supreme Court.
It's tournament time at Osseo Automotive, and the savings are giant. And so is the selection.
Get giant discounts on in-stock trucks and SUVs, like over $8,000 off a 2024 Silverado 2500 HD High Country, or $11,000 off a 2024 Silverado Crew, or over $3,500 off a 2025 Equinox LT.
You'll never see anything this big again. Giant tournament sales going on now at Osseo Ford, Nelson Gunderson Chevrolet, Fountain City Ford, and Rudy's in Whitehall.
The new Nacho Taco Bravo from Taco John's. Our famous beef crispy taco wrapped in a soft tortilla, all held together by refried beans and warm nacho cheese. This is Nacho Average Taco. Get two for just $6 only at Taco John's.
Get the lowest prices of the year during sales fair at Nelson Agri Center, Friday, March 14th through Saturday, March 22nd. Get huge savings on Milwaukee power tools. Stock up on paint with our buy one, get one specials. We'll have deals on fencing, gates, seeds, and more for your farm. Plus, get an $8 store credit towards already low prices with the junk battery trade-in sale. Thousands of items will be on sale at the lowest prices of the year at Nelson Agri Center, downtown Viroqua.
First Warn Weather on News 8 Now.
Welcome back. It's 6:53. Time for your morning news now. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said he will vote to prevent a partial government shutdown, siding with Republicans as lawmakers prepare to take up a GOP funding bill. The measure would fund the government through September. On the Senate floor last night, Schumer warned he was voting for it because a shutdown would only further empower President Trump. And the Trump administration will appeal a ruling that it must reinstate thousands of federal employees. A federal judge ordering the administration to immediately give those workers back their jobs. The probationary employees were fired last month as part of efforts to shrink the federal workforce. Aptiv will host a legislative listening session today where you'll hear directly from people with disabilities about proposed Trump administration Medicaid cuts. The $880 billion in cuts would impact millions of Americans who depend on these services. If you're concerned, you can join Congressman Van Orden in Spokane along with state legislators Path and Johnson from 1 to 3 today. It's happening at Aptiv on South Avenue in La Crosse. Wisconsin's native tribes are fighting for a stronger voice in how schools teach all students. The Senate committee voted yesterday on 4 bills giving tribes more input on education standards. The proposals would protect Native students' right to wear traditional regalia and improve reporting on American Indian student outcomes. The Ho-Chunk Nation says these changes would benefit all Wisconsin students.
always been about benefiting everyone. We know our stuff pretty good. We learn our language, we teach our language, we know our kinship, our clans, our stories, but it's hard to express that when the environment around you isn't open and receptive to that, and you have to justify why it's important that you wear your regalia or have long hair or speak a different language.
All 4 bills passed through the committee on a 4-1 vote. Happening this weekend, the downtown La Crosse St. Patrick's Day Parade will step off at noon tomorrow from 2nd and State, heading up Main to 7th. And the Osseo Fire Department is hosting a St. Patrick's Day bash. Check out the live dueling pianos and Tip and Back Ridge music. Your ticket cost gets you a free drink and meal of your choice. And support young entrepreneurs at Destination Handmade Junior tomorrow at the Nature Place from 9 to noon. Shop art, jewelry, and food created by business owners ages 5 to 17.
All right, a weather alert day comes in later on today. First, we get through some near record-breaking heat coming into the forecast. We're looking at widespread 70s to the low 80s today, in and out of partly to mostly cloudy skies. This all starts in tonight, 8 p.m. to 11 p.m. for damaging winds, possibly up to 50, 60 to 70 mile-per-hour wind gusts. With the greatest threat mostly south of I-90. Now, that'll continue to stretch across our region, going from at least the southwest all the way to the northeast of the area, tracking that storm activity. Take a look, though. We will continue to have some showers going into Saturday. It's drying out on Sunday. Monday looks very dry for St. Patrick's Day, going into Tuesday with more rainfall and storms on Wednesday.
Thank you, Art. Today is, of course, the 14th day of the 3rd month, 3, 1, and 4. Those digits are crucial because they make March 14th National Pi Day. And it is not pi as in apple or pizza, but pi as in the mathematical constant, 3.14, represented by the Greek letter pi. It is the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. And it has been overtaken by pies. I know a lot of local places will do shops or do specials and discounts on pies today. One of your favorite holidays, would you say?
Yeah, it's not bad. It's fun.
Yeah, you love pie.
I'm going to have pie when I get home.
Art loves apple pie is your favorite, right?
I notice they're all round.
Yes, there you go. That's why, right? Well, thank you for starting your morning with us. We'll see you back here at noon. Have a great day.